What is up? Welcome back, everybody. I just want to start from the top here, and I want to shout out a few people. Okay. We got ISO Jr., who says Chase is overrated. Yo, we got to talk about that. I'm going to come back to that comment a little bit later. DJ Bruce Wayne, I see you got the credit limit increase. Congratulations. We can talk about that as well. Danny Boy, Miss Barton, I am 99. I think it's the first time I've seen you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Raul, F. Davis, Sojas, Chilsey, I see you in here. So yeah, hit that like button, just like right of the line said. Thank you, sir. All right, so um, let's get started with the news. Let's pull it up. Boom. Okay. So first, TD Bank's no interest credit card. Is it a niche product or a trend setter? All right. So TD Bank is offering a new credit card called TD Clear that charges exactly 0% on revolving balances. This is not a loss leader, though. Neither is this a charge card like the traditional American Express Green Card, which requires monthly repayment unless the cardholder taps a special credit line. Instead of charging interest, TD Bank assesses a monthly fee in exchange for providing a bare bones credit line. For $10 per month, consumers can obtain a $1,000 line with a $45 minimum monthly payment. For $20 per month, the cardholder gets $2,000 credit limit with a $70 minimum payment. So listen, I was very clear on what I thought about these TD Bank cards. I don't know who they're for. I mean, honestly, I think they're trash. These are trash cards. It's offering. I haven't seen anybody really discuss it, but if they do, I think everybody can agree that this is not what they want. They don't want an annual fee credit card just to carry a balance. The whole idea is that with a credit card, you either pay your statement balance every single month and you don't pay interest, or you're the type of person that wants to forget about your bills when you want to charge the card up and you just pay the interest. I think you're in one of two camps with that. I don't think there's a camp that wants to be a little bit more, responsible, like just a little bit more responsible. I don't think that there's a market for that, honestly. So yeah, I think these cards are gonna go down in flames. I don't know how long they have. Usually when there's a credit card product that's not really catching on, it's gonna be a couple of years. So I remember the Uber credit card. I love that card, and I actually had a good product market fit, and I appreciated that card, but I don't think it was profitable. They ended up product changing it or changing the reward system, and then ultimately canceling that card in about 2.5 years. So I don't think this is going to last as long as that. All right, so American Express unveils plans to use services like ChatGPT to decide whether customers qualify for loans. This is fun. This is like funny to me. American Express is planning to use artificial intelligence to decide whether or not to approve customers for credit cards. The financial services giant said it would use the controversial technology to decide whether to give customers the green light for lines of credit and to analyze feedback from users and even respond to people on social media. I think they're more they're going to be have better luck and have better results by using it for the latter, using it to respond to people on social media. It's perfect for that. I've used these artificial intelligence, specifically ChatGPT, a ton. I use it on a daily basis, and I think it's going to be great as a chat bot to respond to people. I mean, it has so much, for most intents and purposes, understanding that it can respond to you in a very human-like way, and it's going to be very, it's going to show you some deep knowledge, and it's going to respond to you in most cases, do a better job in getting really concise answers to you. But using it to approve people, I think that's steps too far. I don't think it's there yet. Technology is still not fully baked. It still hallucinates, and it will give you incorrect. Like, I would never rely on ChatGPT for, just solid research and giving me statistics and article references. It's not good at that yet. It will slip up and it will not give you accurate information. So it's really good for creative kind of, kind of reformatting, grammatical error correction, things like that, but not good for fact checking. And that's what you need to use it for that purpose. And then why would they want to give up their intellectual property by using a ChatGPT owned by a different company? Their trade secrets could get out that way as well. So I'm not sure what they're thinking on that. This is probably just press, right? Now, I've got a question for you guys. Does anybody out there actually use ChatGPT, or better yet, do you like not even know what it is? Like, have you ever heard of it? I'm curious to know the answer to that. Next, Americans are using ChatGPT again. ChatGPT is popping up again, using ChatGPT to shop for new credit cards. So I understand this part, but this is a little flawed as well. So it seems like people are using ChatGPT for just about everything nowadays, and that even includes financial advice. More than half, or 54% of American adults, said they used it to recommend financial products, according to a ChatGPT study by the Motley Fool Ascent. And the most common type of financial advice people asked for was help finding a new credit card. Of those surveyed, 26% said they had used ChatGPT to recommend a credit card. So I want to call BS on the 54%. I have no idea where you're getting that number from. I feel like 54% of people don't even know what ChatGPT is. I feel like they don't even know. So how are we getting this many people using it to find a credit card? You know what I mean? So I don't think that's accurate. But this is also a flawed approach to use ChatGPT. You know how many times I've searched for a specific card? Let's say the Capital One Quicksilver card. You know how many times I've searched for that and ChatGPT responded with another card's reward system? It's ChatGPT, don't get me wrong, it's great. It's a magnificent technology. It's a light years leap. It's future technology. It's all those things, but it's still flawed in that way where it will not show you accurate number results based on, specific articles and reward systems. It won't accurately pull. It'll pull maybe half of it or 2/3 of it correctly, and then it will get something wrong. It'll get the annual fee wrong. It will get the maybe the base earnings rate or the APR wrong. So it also doesn't have up-to-date information. So these banks are going to change and adjust their sign-up offers. So just like the Chase Sapphire Preferred card had a bonus offering, sign-up bonus offering of 80,000 bonus points, and that was running for about 2.5, 3 months. Well, that's over now. Okay. And so ChatGPT doesn't have that updated information. Even if it did, the banks can still switch up. They're going to switch up on you and make adjustments based on economic conditions. And in a month's time, their whole system could be different. So it's got to be able to update in real time. Next, more than 1 in 3 adults use credit cards to cover loans and to cover basic living expenses. So not only are they using credit cards, we talked about that plenty of times over the past year, but they're using loans. They're using personal loans and other types of loans, maybe HELOCs as well. As consumer spending started to recover and inflation swelled, revolving debt has been climbing steadily and is now nearing pre-pandemic levels. Unfortunately, at the same time credit card balances rose, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates 10 times in a bid to rein in inflation. This combination of high interest rates and rising costs has put American households in a challenging position. Now, nearly 70% of people report that they are finding it difficult to pay for basic living expenses. And as of February of 2023, 37% of adults nationwide said they use credit cards to cover basic expenses. Yeah, it's a sad situation that they're not the lifestyle inflation in combination with not getting at the adjustments and raises yearly that is required to deal with the inflation, and they're just relying on credit cards. Listen, if you have a lot of money, so for me, for example, I have, over $200,000 in available credit at disposal between business and personal. Just imagine, if somebody with that amount of available credit chose to use it to spend for daily needs, easily racking up. I mean, you work yourself in such a great in such a hole that is insurmountable, you know? And that's it's really a shame. That's why I can understand why people don't trust themselves with accessing more credit, because if they access it, they're going to use it, and then it's going to be just game over for them. All right, next, Americans are spending big with credit cards. Here's what that means for the possibility of a recession. Economists have been forecasting a recession for months, and that looming downturn is one of the most anticipated in US history, but it's not yet materialized, in part due to strong consumer spending. Consumer spending represents more than half of the economy, said Kurt Long, chief economist at the National Association of Federally Insured Credit Unions. So if consumer spending is strong, that alone is, generally speaking, enough to keep the economy from slipping into recession in the first quarter of this year. And so gross domestic product grew at a 1.1% rate compared to the previous quarter. This modest level of growth is an improvement from mid 2023 GDP figures, which initially brought recession fears to light. So I guess at this point, we're still trying to stave off a recession. And yeah, so I don't really have much more to say on that. Next, FTC approves final order requiring MasterCard to stop blocking the use of competing debit payment networks. So, following a public commitment period, the Federal Trade Commission finalized a consent order settling charges that MasterCard used illegal business tactics to force merchants to route their debit card payments through its payment network. Under the FTC's order, MasterCard will have to start providing competing networks with customer account information that these networks need to process debit payments. The Durbin Amendment requires banks to enable at least two unaffiliated networks on every debit card, thereby giving merchants a choice of which network to use for a given debit transaction. It also bars card networks from inhibiting merchants from using other networks. The FTC alleged that MasterCard violated the law by settling policies that effectively block merchants from routing e-commerce transactions using MasterCard branded debit cards, saved in e-wallets to alternative payment card networks. So they're trying to make more money there. Um, Next, only 16% of Americans support the US adopting a central bank digital currency. 68% would oppose if government could see what you buy. So only 16% of Americans support the government adopting the CBDC, according to the new Cato Institute national survey. And so the national survey found that twice as many Americans, at 34%, opposing adopting a CBDC, while 49% don't yet have an opinion. Strong majorities of Americans would oppose adopting this CBDC if it meant that the government could control what people spend their money on, and 70%, and that's 74%, that the government could monitor their spending, and 68%. And so that a CBDC would lead to the abolishment of all U.S. cash, and or that the government could freeze the digital bank accounts of political protesters. So I still haven't formed my opinion on this. I feel like if you're all like we're all spending a lot of our a lot of our transactions are going through a credit card, so that you can already be kind of debanked from Chase or from Capital One or Discover, Amex. They can all shut you down individually. So I feel like we're already kind of at that point. The CBDC wouldn't really change that. Most of us are already using these banks to transact. So I'm not sure how much that would change. Like, why are you up in arms about that? But if you disagree, let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't yet, go and hit the like button. If you want to see more live streams like this, and you want to talk about credit cards on a weekly basis every Sunday, 7 p.m., hit the like button for yourself. So Bank of America must face class action over 2020 benefit card fraud. So this is what happened. Bank of America must face cardholder allegations that it bungled its response to authorized or unauthorized transactions on unemployment and disability benefits cards in California during the pandemic. U.S. District Judge Larry Allen Burns said benefits recipients can move forward with a proposed class action lawsuit claiming the bank violated state law by issuing cards to millions of Californians that lack standard security measures. The cardholders also claim Bank of America broke federal law by failing to investigate fraud claims or summarily freezing tens of thousands of accounts. And so consumers and businesses gravitate faster to mobile payments. So the use of mobile payments, I'm sorry, the use of mobile and faster payment services by consumers and businesses in the US is rising as those services become more widely available. In the consumer research, 67% of US household decision makers surveyed last year said they mainly use online and mobile services for their banking needs and rarely or occasionally visit a bank branch. That's me all day. I'm never in. I don't even remember the last time I was in a bank branch. I think it was when I needed a notary. I went to a TD Bank of all places. The TD Bank was across the street from the apartment I was staying in a few years back, and that was the last time I might have been in a bank. And so in 2021 and 61% in 2020, faster payment use rose to 75% last year, up from 68% in 2021. So, for its business research, which included surveying 2,000 companies of all sizes, the Fed said 83% already use some form of faster payments and 90% expect to be using them within 3 years. The businesses mainly use those speedier payments because they're lower cost and provide flexibility, they said last year. All right, so now we're getting to the big news here, guys. So Discover, let me know if you have a Discover. Put D in the chat if you have a Discover card. If you have to Discover It. I personally have the It card, so I'll probably be brushing the dust off that card and using it a little bit. So Discover just unveiled their Q3 categories. All right, so Discover It cards third quarter bonus categories are gas stations and digital wallets. With the Discover It card, you can earn 5% cash back on up to $1,500 in purchases. Gas stations include automotive gasoline sellers and public electric vehicle charging stations. And so digital wallets include select online and in-store purchases made with Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Garmin Pay, or Google Pay. Who's using Garmin Pay? I feel like there's always this extra payment, like digital payment method that I'm seeing, and it's always something new. They have to have just like 1,000 people using Garmin Pay. That's weird. Remember to activate these offers quarterly to earn up to $75 back per quarter, up to $300 per year. So these are two big categories. Gas stations is going to be a big spend for just about everybody. We're all, most people are driving, to get to work and get home and get to the grocery store. But digital wallets, don't sleep on digital wallets, because guess what? If you already have your Discover It card in your Apple Wallet or in your Google Wallet, and you use that anywhere, like you can use that so many places. There's so many stores that already offer tap and pay. Most of the large merchants are going to offer that. You can essentially earn 5% back just about anywhere physically. And then a lot of places online are offering you can check out via Apple Wallet or Google Pay. So this is a big category. I think we're all going to be able to maximize this category here. And also, I also want to say that a lot of people speculate, and I tend to agree that Discover It's categories usually are better than the Chase Freedom Flex's categories. I know the Freedom Flex is a whole different animal, right? Overall it's a better card, and it's for a higher level kind of credit card holder, because they're going to require that 700 score just to get in the door, and you got to be between the Chase's under Chase's 524 rule. Discover is more an entry level. Like they allow you to get on, on the secured level and then graduate into the Discover It card. So it's a little bit more accessible. But if you just look at it for the categories that they offer, usually Discover It's going to come out on top. All right, next, got to tell you guys about three major Chase scams that you got to watch out for. Now, a couple of these I discussed in previous weeks, but I just want to give a refresher and then go over a third one that I recently became aware of. So, first, Chase customers using Zelle are hit with double payment. So, this is the new one. Chase is actively addressing a glitch that caused duplicate transactions and fees in their checking accounts, specifically for payments made through Zelle. The issue became publicly known through customers on social media platforms like Twitter. The bank has apologized and is working to rectify the situation by automatically reversing any duplicate transactions and adjusting related fees. Customers have been assured that the duplicate charges should be credited back to their accounts within 24 hours. So, listen, I know there's been Zelle has kind of like, I feel like it has a lot of proponents and opponents because they kind of been in the news um, in the past in recent history for kind of fraud. And I think here's the thing: fraud's going to be introduced and scams are going to be introduced when you have a lot more people, when you have scale, a lot more people using your product or service. There's just going to be more bad actors, bad apples out there trying to get access to all those people with money. And so this seems like this is not really a scam issue. This is more of a back end network issue from the companies themselves. And if you don't know, Zelle is kind of like a conglomeration or a consortium of companies came together of the largest banks in the country and said, we need a way to transfer money. We need a separate payment network, peer-to-peer payment network that rivals, the likes of Cash App, the likes of Venmo and Google Pay. And we need that to be super fast and we need it to be instantaneous. And so they came up with Zelle. I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago. And so that's why I proliferated. It's being used by most people because it automatically comes with your bank account. It's automatically inbuilt for most bank accounts. And so it's unfortunate, but you really want to be checking your bank account on a daily basis. Some people are checking their bank accounts multiple times a day. Multiple times a day. You really want to be checking your bank account frequently because you never know when things like this can pop up. And not through any fault of your own. Things just come up. Maybe, a utility company or your cell phone company provider overcharges you. You want to be able to catch that before it goes too far, before maybe they have a 30-day period, 60-day period and says, listen, if you catch us, then we'll rectify that and reverse the charges and refund you. But if you don't, then we're just going to keep hitting you over the head with these extra charges. So you definitely want to be paying attention to that. And I saw somebody, one of my audience members told me that you didn't have to use Zelle to be affected by this. Like everybody was getting the notification, and I heard that some people were getting these charges that didn't actually use Zelle. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Now, the next one here is watch out for the Chase Bank ATM scam. So this is in person. So we're going from the back end where the company is directly responsible. Wherever the responsibility lies, it's with one of the big banks and whoever they contracted to handle the peer-to-peer payment network. This one is for in the physical flesh, a scam at the ATM. So this is what happens. Thieves at Chase Bank ATMs have found a new way to steal money from customers by using glue and the tap function on debit cards. The criminals put glue in the card reader, which forces users to tap their card to access their account. However, after tapping, the account remains open for further transactions unless the customer intentionally logs out Scammers then step in after the victim leaves, making additional withdrawals. Several people have lost money this way, and while they were initially denied refunds by Chase, they eventually got their money back after persisting with their claims. And Chase has reminded customers to protect their PINs and ensure they log out after transactions. So, there's a few ways to feel about this, honestly. You know, I think there's a lot of people could say that Chase bears some responsibility to do like a reasonable, like and that's kind of a nebulous term. Like what is reasonable, right? Uh, Chase has kind of an obligation to provide reasonable protections. And what I think that looks like is doing everything they can to make it as idiot proof and simple as possible. And honestly, I think they dropped the ball on this one a little bit, just because there should be either a timeout feature, or they should be able to, with the cameras on the ATM, for example, maybe when you step back from a certain proximity from the ATM, maybe it should automatically log you out. That could work. Or, it should make you re-enter your PIN to do a further transaction. Maybe you need to re-enter to do more tasks. That could be another thing. Or it could do some sort of alert. It could flash your screen. It could put a red box around your screen and just give you some sort of visual notification that, hey, your portal is still open for use. Don't walk away. Or if you do walk away, give you some sort of audible alarm. Maybe even speak to you. That could work as well. So I think that they need to do some more steps to help people out. Because listen, I know that, the responsible thing to do would be to close out, finalize that transaction, and log out to the main screen. That's what you should always look for. Look for that main screen before you walk away. But a lot of people are in a hurry, and they're not trying to, they're kind of lackadaisical walking through life. They're not trying to, in the moment, read every line. And I can understand, that people would operate. Sometimes I operate like that. So I think they need to do a little bit more. If you disagree, let me know. Do you think Chase needs to do more here? Do you think they need to, protect their customers a little bit more at the ATM? And let me tell you something else about this. Um, the scammers will actually come in twos. They'll have a lookout, and they'll have somebody watching the ATM, and they will also pretend to be a good Samaritan and say, hey, listen, I see you having trouble with the ATM that we glued and tampered with and actually damaged. Let me help you out. Let me show you a hack. Let me show you this quick hack so you can actually get some money, and I can get some money too after you leave. Now, I just want to say again, additionally, that if you ever see any machine that is broken, I think that's your red flags should be raised at that point, because it's shown that it could possibly be tampered with. You want to see something fully functional before you kind of interact with it. And I think that's a red flag. Anytime you see one part of the ATM or any other machine that's not working that you're using to put your card in, that's going to have to raise a red flag at this point. Next, scammers stole $160,000 from a Chase Bank customer. So this is what happened. A small business owner, Deborah Moss, lost her entire life savings. Her entire life savings of $160,000 due to sophisticated text message scam that pretended to be from Chase Bank. Moss was initially contacted from a supposed unauthorized $35 debit card charge and was gradually manipulated over a week by a fake bank representative named Miss Barbara. My goodness. This happened over the course of 7 days, guys. I didn't even know that before. The scammer successfully tricked Moss into revealing security numbers sent by the real Chase Bank for transaction authentication, enabling the thieves to bypass security and make 6 wire transfers out of Moss's account. Despite reporting the theft to the police and Chase Bank, her claim was denied after a 5-week review, with the Chase Bank stating that she did not take appropriate steps to protect her account. Moss disputes this, insisting that she received no warnings from the bank account for account's activity. That's there's a few things here. I feel like, just judging by what I've seen from her interview, it seemed like she was kind of out of it. She's a little bit older, and she apparently didn't even know what a wire transfer was. I don't know. I've never discussed it with somebody, but I feel like most people would have heard of a wire transfer before. But listen, she did get scammed. I think I want to start by saying this. To protect yourself, ultimately, you have to always contact the bank yourself. From now on, it doesn't matter whether somebody says, "Hey, somebody's using your card right now. They're emptying your bank account. They're going to use your credit card and max it out immediately. Like, you got to act right now." You can't do it, because you need to know for a fact that you're talking to somebody from the bank. And so the only way you can do that is to hang up the phone, end that conversation through text message, and contact the bank through a trusted number that you can find on the back of your card or from the website. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do from now on. That's the only safe way to interact. And I do feel like, what did she get contacted? Somebody mentioned that maybe Chase should have required somebody to physically go into a branch to make a wire transfer of like $40,000. I think that's reasonable. Like, make that requirement. It's hard to believe that you can transfer that amount of money just through a phone call, and especially when you haven't used the account in that way. It should kind of set off red flags by itself, just by the sheer size of the size and the frequency of the transactions should have set off alarm bells. Now, I see people talking about refunds. I think right at the line you said Chase needs to refund me the money I sent to Nigerian prince that needed my help. You know what? I That's funny. I could see why Chase didn't want to refund the money. It's a lot. It's a lot to take on the chin for Chase, and so they didn't want to make it happen for her. But it would be hard for me to proceed, especially being at the big age, as the young people say, that she was at, and having this happen to you. It's really a shame. Really is a shame. I know there's some more I can say about this story here. There's some more elements. It happened over a 7-day period. So you're talking about multiple texts, probably every single day a text message came in. You didn't call in until after a whole week had passed. That's tough. I think I was just having this conversation with my wife. I just think that people aren't really, money is such a chore. It's such a laborious idea. They don't want to think about money. They just people want to know that they can make the payment. They just want to know that they can get the thing or go to the place if they're traveling. They don't really want to talk about amounts and budgets and limitations, requirements. That stuff, that's for the birds. We don't want to hear about that. That's painful. That's painful. I don't want to hear about that. But that's probably a little bit what happened in the situation. So, Danny, I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. You said enjoying the stream and the vibe today. All right. I'm glad, man. Listen, definitely happy you made it back here. And thank you for the super chat. So, guys, I saw a really interesting video from Dave Ramsey. I know you're familiar with him. And I wanted to get your opinion. I got a lot of thoughts on this. I had a long conversation. It's about family and money, lending money to family. You guys got to see this.
Calvin joins us. Calvin, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
You bet. What's going on, Calvin?
I just want to say real quick, why is his name got to be Calvin? Come on, man. Calvin.
So about 2 years ago, I actually gave my brother and his girlfriend about a $25,000 loan to help them buy a house.
Ooh.
And in the time since that, he's actually paid me back his half, but she's only paid me back like $2,000 of it.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm kind of wondering, how can I bring this up without it being like a huge family fight?
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna have to stop this a lot of times. Just bear with me because there's a lot to break down here. He gave his brother and his brother's girlfriend. He gave his brother $25,000 and the girlfriend. So they're not even married. Okay? 25. Would you give your family $25,000 even if it's for a home?
You cannot.
I was going to say, what's it been like? Tell John, what's it been like so far? Because if your brother's paid his share, but she hasn't, there's got to be some conversations. What do we know? Tell us what we don't know.
So I've talked to him about it, and basically what he told me is she has the money. She's capable of paying it back, but she's just choosing not to. And he can't explain to me why. And so I'm wondering, should I just call her directly?
Yes, he can. It's his wife. He doesn't want to talk trash about your sister.
So you have somebody that you gave $25,000, right? And once you gave him the $25,000 to your brother, he decided, we're going to split this 50-50. I'm going to pay my brother back 12,000, whatever, 500 of the money. And that's all my responsibility. The rest is on my girlfriend, his girlfriend. And then she says, well, this is what the brother's saying, that she don't want to pay it back. Would you be able to tolerate that?
He knows.
I guess, but how? Yeah, I don't know how to bring it up.
You cannot bring it up without it becoming a thing. You gotta put that aside. You can do one of two things. You can say, congratulations, sister. I just gave you $12,000 to buy a house and I'm moving on with my life. And you can internally know, I'll never give you money ever again till the end of time. Or you can sit down and say, it's been this long and we need to lay out a payment plan and put it in writing when I need this money back. And she can lose her mind and get mad and all that, and such it is. Those are your two choices, man.
Yeah, the thing is, she has the money.
It doesn't matter. She's not paying you. You know why? Because she doesn't have to.
This story is wild. He's saying that she has the money, right? Does that make it better? That well, I got the money. So the money that I would have given you is safe, but I'm not giving it to you. But the fact that the brothers split it up 50-50, that's wild to me. Wild. And it's gonna go deeper into that. But it's so much here. It's a shame.
You just got to make a decision. Am I going to do this one or am I going to do this one?
But I want to ask a question, Calvin. John just laid out two really awesome, clear options, and your response was, but she has the money. What does that have to do with what he said? There's something you're still tripping up on. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this guy's not being super straightforward, as you can see. But I do think that the Dave Ramsey representative here, he gave really good choices. Like, you have to be two things you can do. Let it go, which most people are not going to let it go, right? But really, you just got to forgive and forget in the situation. You really shouldn't have lent the money in the first place. It should have been a gift, or you should have lent. You never want to lend the money. I totally agree with Dave Ramsey's philosophy. You just want to give money and just give less. Just give an amount that you would not mind parting with. And so the solution is forgive your brother, or go 10 toes down, take him to court. It's really that simple.
Why is that your response to him?
when I gave him the loan, I didn't realize I was giving half of it to her. I thought it was just a loan between me and my brother. And I wouldn't personally have given her the money. But now that then he told me after that they're going to pay it back half and half. So I just feel like I got a little bit duped.
The other side of this is, so I misunderstood. I was thinking this was your sister and your brother-in-law paid. This is your brother and his wife?
Yeah, his girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
Which makes it even weirder.
Let me tell you this.
Why? Listen, it's a bad idea. It's bad ideas all around. He shouldn't have lent the money. He shouldn't expect. I mean, the brother duped him by taking the $25K, then splitting it up 50-50 after the fact with the girlfriend. He probably lied about that. And they shouldn't be buying a house as if they're not married. Like there's just so many transgressions going around.
Some weird twist of fate. I had borrowed money from my brother with my girlfriend to buy a house. I would feel some sort of obligation for the other half, especially if I'm still living in this house.
I think he does, and he's brought up that he wants to pay it back, but she won't let him because she doesn't want to owe him. I'd rather owe me. So now it's just becoming this twisted, like, circle.
I do
So,
think
yeah,
your brother's playing you. That's what you feel, and I'm starting to lean that way. John, am I wrong?
I would get so far away from them, dude. Your brother's not treating you with integrity. Their relationship is weird. I don't want to owe the guy that I'm creating a life with and sharing a house. Then they've got deeper issues than this. Dude, Thanksgiving's not worth this.
How close are you two?
We're extremely close. Like, he's like my best friend.
Cap, that's Cap right there. We're extremely close, but your brother's gonna stiff you for half of $25,000 and lie to you. I mean, let's be honest, he's lying, right? What? Even if the girlfriend, I mean, maybe some girlfriend would do that, but what girlfriend's gonna say, no, don't. I want to owe you. I don't want to. I want to owe your brother, not you. Like, she's not even going to be involved in that sort of drama and owing money to the family.
Does that change it, John?
He's your best friend, except that he didn't tell you the truth, and he isn't like a person of character when it comes to borrowing money?
He is.
But except that he's not?
I don't know if he's scared to have the conversation with her or what.
No. Here's it, Calvin. I'm asking John a question on your behalf. All right,
okay, go
John,
for it.
I do believe that in Calvin's mind, his brother is his best friend. I hear what you're saying. I don't think the brother's acting like a true best friend. Agreed. However, I'm asking this from a completely just common sense. If this were my brother, and I have a brother, and we were close, it would be on like Donkey Kong. Like, dude, you figured out with the girlfriend, you duped me, you this. This ain't right.
Or
I
I'm going to
wouldn't do
sue
this to
your
you.
girlfriend.
Well,
Right?
I would just call the brother card. I feel like this is a man-to-man. I didn't say ugly or nasty or physical, but I think
direct.
Am I wrong? This changes the equation?
No.
I think you got to call the brother card out. And go, brothers don't do this to each other, dude. You got to solve this.
Brother's got a hug, man.
I got to say, Calvin is definitely protecting his brother. He's delusional for thinking that they're close. How do you think you're close with somebody who's not going to pay you back and feeding you a stream of lies and shacking up with, his girlfriend, a person that doesn't want to pay you back? He should feel obligated. Like they said, he should feel obligated to right this wrong. They did you wrong. Like, this woman is going to eventually probably become his wife, and they're going to become one. You're responsible for her actions, especially in your family. My goodness.
Yeah, you owe me the money, and you figured out with girlfriend. But him choosing girlfriend over you, I think, is a cop-out. And I'd call the brother card. That would be me. And then do what John said.
But at the end of the day,
away.
you got to choose. Am I just going to wash my hands of this stuff and move on with my life?
Oh, that's
or
true.
am I going to cause a scene? There's no right or wrong answer there. But listen, keep this sentence in your mind for the rest of your life. Behavior is a language. And what your brother is telling you is that he thinks he's above you. And he doesn't really care that you bailed him and his girlfriend out to buy a house. And you're brother's girlfriend is telling you, I couldn't care the last second about you.
So true.
I don't like you. I don't care about you. I took your money and ha, 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 nanny, boo-boo. That's what their behavior is telling you. And and listen to me like carefully. That hurts, man. Like beneath me and Ken, like beneath me joking and being loud, that hurts. Because brothers are not supposed to treat each other that way. People that you loan money to help out are supposed to be people of integrity and pay their money back. And that just hurts.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys.
Have you called him out at all? I mean, real? Have you had?
I've talked to him, but every time we talk, it just turns into, oh, I don't know. She just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And
All right.
I
Could you imagine the person that owes you money brushing you off? I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that mess. Get out of it. Get out of here. Let's talk about something fun. Where we going to eat? Like how angry would you be at that point?
I can't get any farther than that. That's why I'm getting to the point. Do I just call her and talk to her?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's kicked the can to you anyway. And well, I actually love what you just said. That's actually phenomenal. Is it?
Call her and say, I need the full amount of this repaid by this date or what? I'm going to call a small claims court. I'm going to fill in the blank.
And are you ready to walk or are you ready to fight for this?
No, I don't really need the money. It's more just like the disrespect, I guess, of her not caring about it.
And him not caring. You keep letting him off the hook,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
He's a part
So
of it.
this is the point where I kind of like I got a little fed up here because I'm like, you don't need the money. So I kind of got that sense a little bit because he's trying to be real, easy, trying to protect his brother. He's not trying to ruffle any feathers. But if you don't need the money, why are you calling in to Dave Ramsey, airing out your dirty laundry and trying to get advice? I feel like you need that money a little bit. Even if you're well off, maybe it's just a chump change for you. It could be. But are you really going to seek advice for something that you can just let go and forget about? Nah, you're just going to let it go and just charge it to the game.
I think he's the culprit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might just forget about it.
Well, I didn't say you had to do that. I was just curious where your spirit was on this because John's giving you great advice here. Walk away or give it one last shot. But you got to decide. It's got to be one or the other. You need closure, yes?
Yeah, they keep bringing up like they're going to remodel their house. They're trying to buy a second house, and it's just getting to the point where I'm like,
That's
why do you care more about that stuff than paying me back?
dude, they're
That's
just-
they're going to remodel. So the person that owes you money says that I'll owe you. I'm fine with that. You call them. They say, I'm not trying to talk about that. Let's talk about something else. And they're trying to remodel their house, get a whole new kitchen, open concept, and even buy a bigger one.
Spitting on you, man.
Yeah.
I got to know. Why are you letting your brother off the hook here?
because I love the guy. Like, I want him to be happy,
I love
But
my
then it's
brother with
eating
all
at
my
me.
heart, but there's also accountability.
Yeah, that's true.
John, I feel
Yeah.
like he's going to go from loving to resenting here soon.
You are about to, yeah. And this is from the greatest Step Perel. Always choose guilt over resentment. Every time. Because what you don't want to do is wake up in 3 years and hate your brother. And if she turns into his wife and their kid turns into your nephew, you don't want to hate them. And so choose guilt over resentment every time. Feel guilty about making the call and being very direct. And
All right, so I think that kind of summed it up. I like some comments here. I just want to highlight F. Davis says, "I always want my money. Give me my money. I'm not trying to hear all the other mess. Show me the money." I hear you. And Ryder Lund has an interesting idea. He says, "Why is the caller so squeamish about asking for the money back? He slept with the girlfriend and she's holding it over his head, threatening to tell his brother." Man, if that was the case, they have to do a little mini documentary on that or something. I like that's creative. All right. And so another one here. So Writer of the Lines also said, there are people like that. True story. My brother-in-law called my in-laws asking for cash to put in his savings account because he had to take some out to pay for new appliances. Unreal. Yeah, listen, people are raised different, and then also people, even if they were raised in the same way or properly, they still are not, they don't feel shy or guilty, or have pride enough to say, no, I'm gonna fix it on my own. I'm gonna handle this problem on my own. And I think pretty much 100% of the time, the people that if you need to ask for money, then you're probably not going to be a trustworthy person to borrow money. So it's kind of like a catch-22 there. All right, so Gary, you said that Dave is under a lawsuit now. You said, understand Dave is getting hit with a $150 million lawsuit. I wasn't aware of that. And you said it's over Dave bashing the vacation share industry. Wow. I'm going to look deeper into that. I can't believe, I don't think he said anything to the point where he needs to be litigation needs to happen. DJ Bruce Wayne has a comment. He said, if you make a verbal agreement with someone, stand by your word. That's a contract. Yeah, a lot of people don't feel like that. If there's no teeth to the agreement, they're like, listen, I can weasel my way out of it. And honestly, they don't value, I think a lot of people don't value your time. They don't value your money. Like, they value their money, but they feel entitled to yours just because, they feel like they're in need or something. I think it just comes back to character. They haven't built up, either a character wasn't instilled or they did not build a character later in life. So I just want to comment and talk about DJ Bruce Wayne. You had a credit limit increase. I just want to shout you out real quick. He said you just got an increase on your Amex Blue Cash Preferred from $24,000 to $32,000. So that's an increase of what, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000? Wow, that's huge. Blue Cash Preferred, and that's a good everyday card, right? You can use that at the grocery store. You can use it for gas too. It gets you 6% back, and it's got the $95 annual fee, if I'm not mistaken. Man, congrats on that. That's a huge limit. Listen, that's about $10,000 higher than any of my limits. So I want to be like you soon, and get some of those. Get a limit over 30K. Did anybody else get any a credit limit increase, or did you get approved for a new card in the last week? Let's talk about it. Okay, we got right of the line. You said got a $4,000 increase from Discover this week from 8,000 to 12,000, just shy of my first year with them. Nice. Yeah, Discover likes you to use the card. They're one of the issuers that want to see frequent kind of high usage on the card. So I'm assuming you're using that, and you're getting some nice category spin on that card. That's great. I think my limit with Discover is right around 12,000 as well. So that's a good line. And DJ Bruce Wayne said, I always try to keep utilization under 5%. Yeah, totally agree with that. I don't know why, Credit Karma and all these other publications are always touting 30%, 30%. I've seen that for years now, and it's still the case. They're like, keep it under 30%. Well, that's not the optimum utilization rate you want to keep. If you go to the FICO scoring company's website, they will tell you that a high achiever has less than a 7% utilization rate. And if you even test it for yourself, once you go in the single digits, your credit score shoots up. And so my thing is always keep it, 1% I think is like the most optimum, but 5% is awesome too. And if you and a hack, and I'm gonna tell you what, if you ever, I think a lot of people would do well to get into the business cards. And I know a lot of Danny, you told me about this as well, probably a year ago. Get into business cards, and I run a business myself, but even if you don't technically have a business formed, even if you're a sole proprietor, which anybody can be, everybody's eligible to do that. As soon as you do, sell something on eBay or sell something during a garage sale, or you do DoorDash, whatever it may be, you're in business for yourself and you're a sole proprietor and you're eligible to sign up for a business card. And if you use your business card for anything, it's supposed to be for business purposes, but it's really on the honor system, then you can hide your utilization. So once I started shifting all my legit business spend onto business cards, I'm able to keep my utilization on the personal side at like 1 or 2% every single month. So it definitely helps out a lot on that. All right, guys. Listen, it's been real hanging out this Sunday. I'm going to be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. like usual. You guys have a great week and have a great night.